What's up, YouTube? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Cindy Loves Cool Things. As promised, I am back with Tim Rexius and with Rexius Nutrition, located here in Omaha and many other locations. And we also have his crew right here.
Well, hi.
Let's go ahead and start it off. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do.
I am Merrit Downey, and I am the VP of Marketing and HR Director.
I'm Cody Guffey. I am Assistant Director of Franchising, Corporate Regional Manager, and then I also manage the Center Shop.
And that is located where? Where can they see your beautiful face?
120th and Center, located by Baker's.
Look for the man with the really cool shoes.
Oh, yes.
As always.
Yes.
I can kick my glitter ones up. They're cooler than yours.
Glitter?
Nope, mine
Yeah.
haven't. Nope.
She's got glitter
Oh,
shoes.
she got glitter. Look
Glitter.
at them.
Yeah.
Gotta check them out.
Mine have a jump fan on them, that's all that matters.
We got some rivalry here, which is good. It's good. It's good. But okay, man, the myth, the legend. What's been going on?
Honestly, it's been crazy the last month or so. I think since you and I saw last. Our Dallas store got approved. We're in the middle of negotiating a lease.
Oh, it did.
Looks
Nice.
like we're going to be opening in Texas here beginning-ish to middle of June. Got the go-ahead on Sioux Falls, South Dakota finally yesterday, and I'm hooking up two guys that are going to partner up on that one. So hoping we get that one open this summer. I can meet with them next week, which has been good. We opened our Exarban location here in Omaha about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. It's done phenomenally well. I get to
Off
be
and
the
running.
keynote speaker at the Omaha Health Expo. I get to launch it and end it 12th and 14th, and then I'm teaching a class at Pinnacle Insurance next week, and I just taught at Midland.
Class for what?
On nutrition and protein and what it does. And we just taught a class at Midland last Wednesday, and then Creighton about 4 weeks ago. So it's been
I might need to attend one of those.
it's been nuts. It's great. Just keep me busy, to say the least. So a lot of speaking engagements. But then I have my daughter. She's graduating in like 3 weeks, so I got to get my house. So I had to clean my house up and look like I do that.
Yeah, I'm with you
So-
on that one.
so-
I'm with you on that one. That's just, yeah. It's
yeah.
kind of like one of those, yes, they're getting out of the house, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm getting old.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but it's very good opportunities. Busy's good. If you're not busy in this business, it means you're going down. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the last time we talked, you also went on a mission trip. How did that go?
Mission trip went awesome. Went to Mexico. Another 5 days, 3 days without power, no running water, sleeping in tents, and got to build 3 houses all by hand. I'm talking. When I mean by hand,
No electricity?
No electricity. So what I mean by hand, I mean no power tools. I mean you're mixing concrete by hand with a shovel and water. You're sifting the sand by hand. You're cutting the boards by hand with a handsaw.
Like, ain't
and
happening, people.
hammer and nails, and he built it in 3 days, stuccoed the whole thing, roofed the whole thing 3 days, for 3 deserving families, and it was an awesome experience. My first world problems don't seem so big after doing that, and it's kind of nice getting away from technology, getting away from my cell phone for a while, and having our oldest daughter with us was cool. Plus, a couple of our adopted kids that we call them adopted kids that
Oh, yeah.
they got to go
Oh, yeah.
to, and it was awesome. It was pretty neat. So really changed my perspective when I come back and donating time. So I've just been kind of on this kick, I guess, where I just want to be able to give back to the communities as much as possible. So I'll be entering. I'm doing the Health and Wellness Expo and doing that. I'm just donating my time there. I'll be donating my time here on May 23rd, Wednesday at 1:30. I will be in the dunk tank for the Omaha Home for Boys. So if you want to see me
yes,
get
please
dunked
do.
in water along with my staff, who's entirely too excited to see this happen, for $10, going to a great cause, you can put me in a dunk tank down in Exarban Village on May 23rd. So
May 23rd?
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up and just smack the bottom of my face.
it's probably what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
So May 23rd, that means I will be there.
Oh, yes.
To videotape this.
Yeah.
And everybody getting
This
dunked.
will be good. So yeah. But
It's not me. Are you doing it too?
I'm not. I'm going to knock him into it.
they made posters, and that's going all over town. The organization did, so they're
Okay.
blasting it everywhere. We'll do a lot more promo videos and stuff coming
Okay.
up. But
All right.
I just constantly trying to find something that we can throw ourselves. I was telling them this morning in our meeting that we're trying to throw ourselves back to the community. Just things that we can do. So a lot of these classes, a lot of these things that we're doing, they're all free. We don't charge universities for them. We don't charge the
Oh, wow.
the Indian organizations for them. It's just something that's a passion of mine is getting back and making sure people understand how this stuff works. And there's too much sales in this industry, so people take everything with a grain of salt. I don't think that needs to happen. I don't think being healthy needs to break the bank. And that's where it's associated, especially in Omaha. With a few of the companies that have been here have been very high pressure sales commission environments, and I'm trying to destroy that myth as much as possible. So yeah, it's fun. It keeps us busy, and the speaking engagements is probably where my passion really lies more than anything. So
Speak it good. How does he talk, guys? I mean, not really. Give it.
come on, get straight. Go ahead.
He's really good at it. It's getting him to stop is the truth. That's it. He just gets rolling like our employee.
You ask him a question. I have to preface the question with okay, I don't need a 20-minute spiel. I really just need my question answered. And then even then, it's still 5 to 10 minutes long. And I was like, dude, I got it. Thank you.
It's got to the point.
But it's the dads. You're because you don't want to get grounded for interrupting.
First of all, I've got a lot of this out of my system. She talked me into starting a podcast, and so I started a podcast. I just get to talk, and so I'm getting a lot of my need to drop knowledge bombs out of my system. It's been less since I started this podcast. Tim Rexius Radio Experience. Check it out on iTunes. Shameless plug. And but I get all my random tangents, my rants out of the system because I feel like when you're asking me a question, you're wanting not just for that question, but this will help solve the rest of your questions. That's what a dad does.
Who was that? Was it Casey Kasem?
Yeah.
What it was, and now the rest of the story.
No, that's
was
Paul Harvey.
Yes.
Me and Paul Harvey.
Okay, my understanding is you two just want the cliff notes, right?
Yeah.
When we do employee meetings, we basically he has to do bullet points first, otherwise.
Yeah.
It doesn't get lost in
He
translation.
just gets rolling, so
I
he'll have to stay on his bullet points.
I do. I make notes now.
Oh, no.
The only time I ever make notes, and because I usually when I go to these speeches, I just I ramble. I'm better if my BS is unhinged. But on their meetings, just because I start seeing the white glaze over the eyes, I start making bullet points. Otherwise, I put them to sleep. So.
I love it. I'm sorry.
I do it to my kids too. I start making bullet points for them.
We're all just so conditioned with you at this point.
They just tune me out. I'm like, were you playing a movie in the background of your mind right now? Cody gets to look staring at me, but in his mind, he's watching the movie Die Hard or something cool. So
that or you guys are hearing from the Peanuts.
I mean, she's
Very
not
true.
wrong.
Cody does that though when I talk. So Cody does that with everybody.
Just more so you.
Again, sibling rivalry.
This is the dynamic at Rexius Nutrition. It's
it's fun.
It's not super professional, but it is a lot of fun, and that's the way we would like it. This is as dressed up as you're going to see me. So
Professionally unprofessional.
Professionally unprofessional.
I like it. Well, what is the future forecast for the company?
Well, I want to get 3 new franchise locations open here by August, September at the max, at the longest, with Dallas, Sioux Falls, and I've got fillers out in Des Moines, Ames, Kansas City, North Platte, and Sioux City. So I would like to get one of those on board just to keep the projections going the way I am.
So you're not including the one in Exarban Village?
Exarban doesn't count. That's my shop. So
Gotcha.
it's not a franchise. And just trying to keep our spread growing the way it is. And so that's been big. Probably looking for a bigger warehouse. We outgrew our warehouse in about 7 months. So we're
one
over in 120th and Maple, where the Iron Heaven is.
The one we just opened.
Yeah, the one I just opened.
120 Iron Heaven
Gym, and now it's going to get larger because I'm tearing down the walls in the back to make a bigger gym for or make a bigger warehouse for Rexius. So whenever that happens, the gym will get bigger too. So Iron Heaven off 120th and Maple, 1174 Stonegate Circle. Shameless plug. Just in case,
it's going to go on here. It's going to go on
totally
here.
Fine.
You know
It's
it is.
24-hour access and no uncle alarms. But anyways, I digress. So we'll also be looking to do another gym here in town as well before the end of the year. Yeah, I'm looking around the I-80 Harrison area to I-80L area. Just have 2 locations for convenience. There are people requesting 24-hour gym access and a real, training facility, not these. Everybody gets a hug and free pizzas on Fridays kind of stuff. So
we won't go into that.
We won't go into that. You know, it's
If you know my
it's
Facebook
totally cool.
page.
Whatever gets you to the gym is fine with me. But
Absolutely.
if you're going to target market those people, you should target market people like us as well.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with having business specifically set for a certain kind of target market, and that's what I'm doing. So, a lot of big things, a lot of big plans, you know, for the company, and just we have shows pretty much every weekend, starting this weekend, all the way through
Really?
the third week of June. We've got a bodybuilding show almost every single weekend. So the 28th, the 25th, the 12th, the 19th. The 26th, then we go into June 9th, and then June 17th, I believe.
I know you're busy, but can you send me some of those, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put it on there for you guys to look up.
I'll get you with Jab from the NPC Midwest, and then we also do the IPE and the AMBF, and then so we have shows in multiple towns too. So we sponsor all, and we're the title sponsor for every single show that's done in Nebraska and now South Dakota as well. Just my giving back to the sport and you know, helping out athletes, because this was always my obsession. Was this with wrestling when I was a kid? You know, WWE stuff. Not as bad as him. He's the title holder.
Really?
Oh, we all grew up
Really?
watching that. You know, watching
Yes, we
Hulk
did.
Hogan, watching these things. Guys, like
so-
that's what
yeah.
made me. That's what made
Some
me.
of us still
Macho
watch
Randy
it.
Travis.
Macho Man and Randy Savage. And the thing was, I didn't, you know, I was a fat kid. Never no better way of saying it. I was like, oh, I could be like the Hulkster, you know. And
You just have to eat your vitamins and say
you
your
eat your
prayers.
vitamins and say your prayers, and you know,
Brother.
Oh my god.
brother. And you know,
I don't know, I love
next
it.
time I compete on bodybuilding, I'm coming out in the hole and I'm ripping it. I'm
no,
doing it. I
okay.
don't care.
When he
I'm
does
past
that,
I'm past the age. I'm past the age when I care.
You pull
So-
Hogan, we can't be friends. You pull Hogan, we can't be friends, dude. I don't like him.
Oh.
It's not even like like
See?
he's a lame wrestler. Don't like him. Like I really don't like him.
I really can't wait to meet him. Never met him, but and then this fall, Mr. Codes here gets married. It's
Yep.
a time of Rexius event.
Yeah.
So
I do.
Nice!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Thank
like the whole family, the whole Rexius family, nutrition family is pretty much in the wedding.
Yes.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be really cool.
That's
So,
gonna be fun logistics.
You know,
for a weekend.
yes.
Oh, that's gonna
Since
be
all of us are probably gonna be
hilarious.
We're probably gonna shut
Yeah.
the stores down more than likely.
Oh,
but-
Lord
so-
have mercy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it'll be fun. So a lot of big plans, a lot of things coming on the horizon.
Well, I mean, it's just like you said before in the other interview, is you guys are a family.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
all of you guys. I mean, even the franchise, all over the country, you guys are family, and that's amazing. I mean, that's wonderful. Speaking of franchises, what advice would you give to new franchise individuals on running the company?
You know, it's if you're looking to get into franchising, it's I've actually done this on my podcast quite a bit. That you know, you need to understand, like, are you self motivated? Are you in a mix of an introvert and an extrovert? Can you be motivated internally, but you have to be motivated by what's externally around you, because that's what makes you change.
Right.
Are you not too egotistical? You're willing to put the business above yourself, and that's, I think, for CEOs, for anybody who's in business, whether it's just in nutrition or not, or that wants to be in, is like are you egotistical? Do you trying to be a boss instead of a leader? It really comes down to it. If an 18-year-old employee of mine has a better suggestion the way I'm doing it, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's about something bigger than myself. And that's where I think everybody, keeping everybody on point and make it, if you have to lead by example. So the top, you have to do things right and more straight than everyone else. You don't use your position of authority to skate by the responsibilities. You use it as a way to be an example. So, you know, if you're the kind of person that's self-motivated and that is sick of being a number on a page for some big corporate ledger, where you can be replaced, and you get, after getting tenure at your job, you find out that you have satisfied our requirements or something stupid like that, instead of saying, hey, I appreciate you, I love you, thanks for being and doing your thing. I go, then, you know, franchising with us or just getting into your own business that's what you need to do. If you're somebody that wants to leave work at 5 o'clock and be done with it, forget about it and shut off and have bankers' holidays off, this is not the business for you. You know, if you can't if you want to make your passion your paycheck, this is your job. So. And that's something else. I did it. I've been in corporate jobs, and they were great. I learned a lot, but finding out that there was always so much politics involved, and I wasn't going to get this promotion until I was this age. Not because I wasn't qualified, not because I wasn't doing the job above and beyond, but because I wasn't the right age and demographic for it. And that's what you find in
We
corporations.
talked about
And
that.
nothing wrong with, I mean, people want to run their companies that way, that's fine. I've chosen to run my company differently. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your degree is in. I don't care if you have a degree. And the guys will test you. I'm based it on talent. You can't mark talent down with a piece of paper. You can't judge it with a piece of paper. You can't judge it with some university with people who aren't actually doing the job or just teaching about it. I don't put much stock into it. Work ethic cannot be displayed on a piece of paper or a diploma. So I base it on their individual talents and find out what they're doing.
Practical application.
And it's like, I've talked to Merrit about it quite a few times, and she'll attest to this. 28, started out working for me as a part-time sales clerk because her ex-boyfriend worked for me at one point, and even he left, she stayed. Part-time in Norfolk, moved her down here, then moved up to administrative assistant, and moved up to doing some marketing, doing some HR work, to being the director of HR and the vice president of marketing for a company that's in 7 states by the time she's 28 years old. She didn't have a degree in marketing, nor do I get pardon my language, but nor do I care.
Right.
It's her talent. She's got an ability to, and just recognizing that, and she needs to recognize as well that she has that talent. And Cody's got an innate ability of leading people and doing it in a humorous way, if you can't tell. And people respond better when they're happy and it's humorous. They do, versus a dictatorship kind of mentality. And so I didn't just put him in charge of our #1 store. I put him in charge of all the store managers to help them kind of create a team mentality the same as he does. So recognizing the talent, it was like when Cody first started working for me like a year and a half ago, he didn't want to work for me.
2 years.
2 years.
As of 2 days ago, what?
Yeah, it was like
Two
3
years,
days ago.
hey.
As
2
of 2 years.
years.
Yeah.
Facebook had to tell me that.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I know. Is they
I
literally
didn't even
it
see
literally-
it. I was the one that
Yeah.
shared it, and I was like, God, you have made my life hell for 2 years.
It literally popped up on Facebook. Like, hey, because I was sitting with my fiance and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Turns out I've been working at Rexius for 2 years. She goes, oh yeah, I just saw that. So,
And the thing is, like, at first you didn't really want to.
No.
Not what you wanted to do.
I didn't. I thought I was going to grow in personal training. I thought that was going to be my avenue. That was going to be everything. And it was frustrating because of the ebbs and flows of it, and it just got old after a while. And then, I'm friends with Nick, and then he was just like, hey, dude, just come work one night a week for me. I was like, no. and he's like, please, I need somebody to come work here that I trust and stuff like that I can lean on. And I was like, I don't like sales. It's not who I am. I don't want to sell. You don't have to do that. And I was like, fine, dude. Yeah. So then they literally turned. I remember the first night I started, she was there training me, if you call that training. I keyed. But no, we honestly started BSing and everything, and then it's crazy to think where it grew. It all of a sudden within. And I worked 2 nights a week, and then after that, within I think a few months, all of a sudden I was
3 months. He has a conversation with me. He's like, I want it. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I'm here for I'm here for long term.
That is awesome.
I go, is the same kid didn't want to work more than one night a week because he didn't like to sell stuff, but I said I don't have a sales environment. I have a consulting environment.
It really is.
And, I'm so glad he did because he's been such an integral part. For me and Shane to move our original operations from the back of here to a warehouse operations and to give up this one, which is my baby, the first one I ever started that Shane and I worked at for 7 years, to over to somebody else who isn't only just done well, he's exceeded expectations that we ever had and done a phenomenal job. That's a huge sigh of relief for me and Shane, because it's very hard to make changes to your day-to-day routines that you've been in for 8 years. Especially in a shop where your customer is so used to you, and you're like, okay, I'm worried about the customer relationship because everybody's gonna jive with somebody else, but they all love him. And I was informed yesterday by my brother, who had come into one of the shops, that you're nicer than I am. So that's awesome.
Who said that?
Scotty. And so apparently Cody's nicer than I am, and that's awesome.
Don't even look at me like that.
So,
Here, those are half.
That's on film.
So, yeah, he and my family shops in here, and then my mom's like, Josh in Norfolk, it's just so nice. You should be more like that.
Mom,
what?
really?
Mother's Day is coming up. Your gift value is dropping. Let's but base that opinion after the 13th, okay?
Exactly.
But I love the fact that my family they're all calling me from Kearney, they're calling me from Denver, they're calling me from Norfolk, being like, your staff rocks. I'm like, that's the greatest thing in the world. It just because there's only one of me, but there's 100 and some of them, and it's nice that I have such a huge, phenomenal team. So
that is so. That speaks volumes, and that's why a big reason why I wanted to get your employees' perspective, because people always the CEOs like to toot their horns. Not really, you don't. You never toot your horn. But get your guys' perspective on one, how he runs his business and how he treats his employees.
Mm-hmm.
So for you guys, I've already had you guys introduce yourselves and what have you. But how did you get individually involved? Well, I know how you did. So.
How did I start here?
Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with all of it?
So they opened the store in Norfolk, and my ex-boyfriend started working, and then he knew that I didn't like the job that I was at then, so I took his spot because he moved down to Omaha, and I took his spot and started working a couple days a week, and then Tim wanted me to come down here because he thought I was going to be better down here, when, you know. And then
he did know.
yeah, so I started working down here like 2-3 days a week, and then it slowly turned into 5 days a week for only a couple hours, and then all day, every day, and then it's just progressed into this.
So you moved. So you moved down here from Norfolk.
And the thing, here's the funny thing. So she has a lot of experience bartending and doing that. So she was still working at a restaurant until like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm moving you up. She's okay. I go, listen, how much do I have to pay you to quit working there so you are available? Because I mean, marketing in this company is a 24-hour day job.
Yes, it is.
So she's like, well, you know, Merritt's very nice about it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay you less than I'm paying any of the guys. That's crap. So I gave her a raise, and that's just the way it should be. But she's earned it, and she's put in more hours probably than anybody, honestly. And the beautiful thing is, like, so she was like my sister, basically, and it has been like my sister. Been my confidant for a long time. Now she will eventually be my sister because her mom is dating my father-in-law. So we will be, and they're
Whoa.
engaged. And they are engaged. So the thing is, she will legitimately
That
be
is
family.
legitimately family, guys.
So after that, I can't fire her. So I have to say really nice things about her. You know, and I'm in his wedding, so I gotta say nice stuff about him too. And but no, that's how tight knit this family is. It's kind of awesome that way. So,
Oh wow,
yeah.
wow.
So
Well, when you touched up on like degrees and wise, I mean, my degree, I have a bachelor's in graphic art and design. I don't use it. It's a really good paperweight. I mean, that's all it is. My degree. So for you, it just speaks volumes about your determination, your focus, your drive, and your love. I mean, for the company and for the people that you work for. I mean,
Thank you.
so for you, what is your favorite thing about the company? And I'll ask you that as well.
I mean, all of them, probably. Like, not to get, like, mushy on you, but, like,
Also on film.
yes, it is. No, just everybody that we work with. I mean, I think it's so crazy to hear people that, like, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to go to work tomorrow, you know? Like, yes, of course I need, like, a couple hours, like, away from all of them, because it really is, like, one giant family, so it's like having 30 people living in one house all the time, you know, and like you just need to shut your door for like 10 minutes and just be like, all right, I'm not going to kill you guys anymore, like we're good, we can go back to work, it's great. But like that, I mean, that's it. Like I get to hang out with them all the time. Anything happens in my personal life or anything, like they're always the ones that I call.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it's them, and then just to be able to, on like a business side of it, because we are in the business of helping people, like, and that's, I think I put it probably in one of my slides too, but if I can help one person even, then that's all I need. So whether it's me talking about my story and that like resonates with somebody else and like I can actually help and they can come to me even on like Instagram messaging or something and just be like, hey, like I feel that same way. If I can do that because of the platform that we have, that's great. If I can help somebody lose weight or feel better about themselves or their clothes fit better or whatever it is, like if I can help just that one person, I'm set for life.
That's awesome. I mean, the factor of wanting to help people. I mean, that's huge, especially in today's time. I mean, everybody's all about me. Bye. I don't. If it's gonna infringe on what I want and what my focus is on, I don't want to have anything about it. I mean, that's the one thing I said. I mean, I absolutely just adore and appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys are phenomenal. But for you, Cody, what is your favorite thing about the company? You can't take her answer.
I mean, it is cliche, but honestly, it's like the family effort that we have here. Like it's not just work. Like most of our any of our like group messages that are, like start as business don't ever last that long because somebody's bound to say something dumb, and then we just start picking on them.
Yeah.
And stuff like
and
that.
And then there's memes and GIFs and
then I'm gonna throw in a couple
videos.
pro wrestling gifs in there, so it's how it's done.
Yeah.
So it honestly breaks down like we and I agree with her. Like we love each other to death. Sometimes it does, you need a little breather away from each other because we are such a family.
Mm-hmm.
Like take Nick for instance. I love the kid like a brother. Like he's in my wedding. Sometimes him and I will butt heads, and that is what it is. We just got to kind of breathe, and then we're fine.
That's a family
Nothing is
thing.
ever personal. Nothing is ever malicious. Like there's like nobody holds these grudges or anything of that nature. Sometimes we just got to yell it out a little bit. We're good to go. And like no matter what, they're always gonna have your back.
Yeah.
So and that was one of the fun things for me. Like when I got engaged, obviously, my fiance has like 5,000 friends. I'm more on the smaller group. So like choosing my groomsmen and stuff like that, it wasn't even like hard because like I had like my friends I grew up with and like literally the guys that I work with. I was like, well, absolutely. I got him. I've got Shane there. I got Nick. And it even got to the point that, yeah, I'm a guy with my own personal attendant.
Nice.
Because I wanted her in there. So yeah, I literally pitched that. I pitched that and my fiance understands like her and I's relationship where she's like, that's an awesome idea.
Oh yeah.
So it's literally that like and more than anything, I hate micromanaging, and he doesn't at all. I love it. It's literally like, here's your baby, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't, so
It's a belief that if you hire a professional, let them do their thing. The simple fact is, nobody should be over your back doing your job. If that's the case, then I'm not trusting the right person. I hire a contractor in my house to fix something on my house. I'm hiring you because 1, I don't have time. 2, I probably don't know how to do it. 3, so what am I going to do? Stand over your shoulder? Like simple fact, just how I look at it. And
Right.
I believe in taking everybody's individual expertise and their own story, their own angle, because I think everybody brings their own game to the table and their own avenue, and they're going to relate to people differently than I am. I don't want a bunch of drones. I don't want. That's why you don't come in here. Everybody's in the khaki pants and the blue tucked-in shirt with a special belt and it drives me nuts. I'm like, I don't want a bunch of drones. I don't. I want individuals and.
I love that.
And that's because so the fact they each have their own story and they each have their own angle. It's in how they work on it.
And
so.
see, that's what we were talking about earlier about how you listen to. It doesn't matter how old you are, as far as your employees are concerned. You have to speak to your demographic, and your demographic is from this high on up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that feedback and information from all of those different ones is phenomenal. And the fact that you listen, you don't just, yeah, okay.
I hear you
talking.
I even
You hear them.
And I reiterate it all the time. American said to us this morning, we had a meeting. I'm like, listen, if you think one of my ideas is stupid, go ahead and tell me. Let's argue it out, even if I'm vehement about it. Go ahead and fight me on it. Like, this is the beautiful thing about having a family. There's no connotation of me coming down on them like, no, you can't argue with the boss. It's never going to happen. I want to know. If you really feel passionate about something, okay, well, that's going to make me take a second look at it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to convince you that I'm right, which is usually what I try to do. It doesn't always work. And if I can, though, but then you'll feel the same passion that I do towards something, so you're going to understand why I'm doing something. So I actually encourage the dialogue because I need to be challenged too. That's my wife. Challenge is half my decision. But, but
it's what they do.
It's what they do. But, it's like we're looking for a new office. I was all excited. Looked at the small one, looked at the big one. Big one's gorgeous. Even drove the wife by it. So check this out. This is for the office. We have our own deck. And then it turned into an hour long of, you really shouldn't do this because X, Y, Z, and there's the cost, and here's the whole thing. And I'm like, done. I'm done doing it. I'm pissed. Went to another smaller office. I'm like, look at this crap hole. And I will try to negotiate the smaller one. Okay, you're right, honey. So I get a smaller one. Then it turns out the smaller one's price was higher. And she's like, let's do the big one. Are you kidding me right now? but now it's like I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm like, are you sure? But now I'm a little more hesitant. I'm looking at the numbers a little more hard. But that kind of challenge is what I need. I'm an excitable person. I'm a salesman by nature.
You jump.
I jump. I want to I'm going to jump. I'm going to leap and try to do it. And
You
my
jump,
wife,
and those guys go,
Yes,
whoa.
that's exactly what we
they
do.
pull me back, and that's what I need though. And I need that because I what's my usual thing? I've spent more money on dumber stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
gosh.
that's my excuse for so much.
And this is why we
It's-
have them here.
It's one of the funnest things, like working at the running this shop, and it's close by his office. So like whenever he just needs to get away for a little bit, he'll come over here, and he'll just start after he gets done with the scratch tickets, he'll just start spewing out ideas. And he's so geeked on something that he just came across at 3 o'clock in the morning because he couldn't sleep.
Yep.
And then I'll be like, cool, but no,
right?
Because in the
because
in the past we've done this, and this, and this. He's like,
you're right.
yeah, you're right. But he could. Yeah, you're right. So that's usually how it goes, and it's exactly that. Like you don't feel pressure. Like, oh my god, I can't challenge him. It's.
Right.
I actually enjoy challenge. It's almost like fun. I enjoy like being devil's advocate. Like it's.
I may be the boss, but they also take ownership of it. So, like last year, Merrit banned me from buying any
clothing
ever again. So
speaking of which, we do carry youth hoodies.
Yes.
If anybody out there wants
apparently a
Chinese
youth
hoodies, feel free.
Double extra large is a youth medium.
Yep.
But it was such a great deal. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't stop. I get about 2 hours of sleep at a time. I start working, and I was on prep last year and I couldn't eat, and so I'm like, I had these big bound things coming in. I go 500 sweatshirts. That's what it is. Got a great bargain, and so they got them all logoed and.
Yeah.
She puts on the biggest one and looks like she's shopping at the Baby Gap.
Like, don't get it wrong. Like, they look cool and everything, but they're just not. They're not conducive
They're
to
like
American sizes.
So like
Are they here?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So they're like a cool like slick on the outside.
cool.
They have like the really soft on the inside. But so the problem is they all came in these big pillow looking things with the big zip ties around them.
All right, everybody knows I'm 4'11".
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
May
a double.
I?
That's a
Yeah,
double.
oh, yeah,
that
okay.
is a double extra large.
Double extra large,
So we have youth
4'11".
hoodies.
Okay.
You'll never live.
That is
Really?
the perfect size for you. That's
it
the
is
perfect
perfect.
size.
Yeah.
That is yours to take home.
There you go. There you go. That is yours.
Yeah.
That is
So
yours.
so the big zip ties, like it didn't, we didn't pop them open first, so we had no idea. So we just like hauled them all down to Brad, and we're like, here, can you logo these? So he popped them all open, asked me how many we had, and finally we get them back, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna have a problem. And I think it might have been like very soon to his show.
No, when I was very close, and I get married, I get me text, and it's bad. She goes, "Are you in a good mood right now?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Are you in a bad mood?" I go, "Oh no." She goes, "How tight is the budget?"
Yeah.
I go, "Well,
Because we're gonna need new hoodies.
because you're gonna need to buy hoodies for adults."
Yeah.
What? So I drove over. Like, what do you mean? She goes, "Try one on," and I couldn't get my arm in it.
Oh.
I was like, "Huh?" She goes, "You're fired from buying clothes."
Seriously.
And that's the best part is like all of us have like, and that's exactly it. Like all of us have had ideas at moments that he's like, all right, if we can convince him of it, take it and run with it.
That's
But like
awesome.
if
And we've all messed
honestly,
up.
and everybody's messed up at some point. I mean, it's gonna happen. Well, we're a family, so you don't get to forget about that. Like her ordering freezers that were fridges.
It was $3,600 later for 6 stand-up freezers.
Yeah.
It turned out that and we kept calling. We call muscle egg. We're like, we call it the Bantico. We're like, it's not keeping our egg whites frozen. They said, well, it'd be kind of hard to keep them frozen considering the refrigerators.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coldest it would ever get to was like 36, and I was like, this isn't gonna work for frozen stuff.
So that was about a year ago. Yeah, you ain't forgetting that one.
No, but funny enough, we use them for bangs now, and they're in all of the stores, and they look really pretty. But
So
it's not like we didn't like throw them away and just like trash like $3,600. We
still messed
still
up.
use them.
We repurposed.
Yes,
them.
we repurposed
Yes,
them.
see?
Yeah.
But
Did
that's
everybody's
cheap.
kid and cousin and neighbor kid get a Rexius sweatshirt? We repurposed.
Nailed it.
Nailed
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's we've all.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a running tally of everybody's mess up. And we'll be sure to. So whenever you come up with an idea, but is this like the hoodies?
Yeah.
Like we have to preface like
That's
yeah.
the new measuring.
Yeah.
That's
With her,
the new-
she. I got an idea of this.
That's the
Is
measuring
it like a
stick.
refrigerator? No.
Oh Lord
awesome.
have mercy. How many employees do you guys have?
I have
don't even
in
know
the
if I asked
Rexius
that
Nutrition
one.
corporate staff. I have 36.
I
I
did
just
not
didn't want to
realize
remind
that.
myself it's that big, and then with all the if you add all the franchises in, I'm around honestly I'm pretty close to 100. So
Wow.
I'm probably I know I'm around 80. Some of my stores have like 6 or 7 people on staff, and some have like as low as 3. So the average I figure it was pretty close to 90. So when the new store opens, we'll be over 100. But,
Oh wow.
so.
So, for you guys, what Aside from the ordering mishaps, what other trials or tribulations have you guys, one personally faced with the company, either like customers or anything like that?
Working with her,
Oh my gosh.
it's a daily.
It's a daily struggle
it
to
is,
even
it
look
is.
at you in the
That's
eye, actually.
Yeah, so that's probably my biggest struggle. No, I would just say, I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, we're growing as a company and we're growing really well, but I mean, anytime you have a company that is growing like, and that's what any entrepreneur out there, anybody who's in business, stuff like that, I'm gonna attest, like, there's growing pains, and it's always going to happen. I mean, we've had to make moves where it's like, maybe part-timers lose a little bit of staff and stuff, lose a little bit of hours, and the corporate staff covers a little bit more, stuff like that. It's just growing pains. We've just had to adapt with ever-changing regulations, this that.
Right.
You just got to be prepared. I mean, lucky enough, he's pretty good at looking at the future, so I'll give him all the credit in the world for that. So he kind of sees these things coming. And then we just basically, all right, here we go. What do we want to do? How do we want to handle this? And all of us have our different ways of handling it. Like, I'm very cut and dry. Like, there is no gray area. Like, this is it. Which is why his wife running the schedule is a godsend for me, because it's just, do it now. This is how it's done. This is how it operates. There's no playing around. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
So it's literally, I'd say the biggest issue we've had is just dealing with the growth and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, all right, we got to adapt. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. So that's how it is, just growing with it. And all of us, I bought supplements. I mean, I haven't actually had a science degree, like I know all that, but like coming into working here, I knew things, but I didn't, know the industry like I do now. So then it was learning that.
How much do you guys actually learn about the industry through being here?
Quite a
I mean,
bit.
it's like supplements, nutrients. I mean, all of that. I mean, you obviously you teach.
I spent a lot of time working with everyone, and so we actually, and Cody was helping out with this along with Dr. Jeff McCrae that works for us. We actually are making Rexius University online, but they've made tests, they made quizzes on different areas of the store. So when they've learned up to the speed on selective androgen receptor modules, or if it's on aminos and protein or weight loss and what works and with what not, they have a quiz, and the employees have to get 100% on the quiz. They have to continuously take it till they get 100%.
So basically, this is literally, I've gone into other places, and I've actually asked people, so how much do you know about these products? Well, I don't know, just pretty much I just kind of come in and
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
But you guys have something in place.
Oh, we do.
And that's different.
It's constant systems. I want to make sure that, because the simple fact is when you meet the 17-year-old kid from Norfolk, right, and you go in a store, the only representation that person from Pierce, Nebraska that drove into town of Rexius Nutrition isn't me, it's not them, it's not the corporate staff or how cool any of us are, it's that 17-year-old kid. And I have 2 or 3 17-year-old kids that work for me in that store, but they are trained and they are fantastic. And I just said, listen,
and that's the difference.
I gave them a mission. I gave them, they're part of the family, and it's part of the training protocol. And this is the steps we take when we sell things. This is how we market. Here's what the products do. And if you have questions, engage and ask. I want you to train 3 shifts before you even work on your own. And then when they're close, I always make sure the manager's close to pop in, but give them a little room to breathe too. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I started nutrition before internet was really a thing. So what we had was a 600-page book full of vitamins and minerals that I had to read from front to back. And Shane, my business partner, same thing. So that's why, a lot of these guys, and they were constantly asking, they want to know more information. And so we're all kind of so Nick, who works for us, he's sending me articles on stuff so I can read. I'm a research glutton. I love it. So I'm constantly looking things up and wanting to understand how things work. And it's like I did a little video on this product last year. We ended up selling more of this than any other company in the United States, I believe, just because I did some more research on the ingredients and what they could possibly do. I popped a 1-minute video out on Facebook, told all these guys about it, and all of a sudden we're selling through it like we can't keep it in stock. Just because that's what education does. And the simple fact is, when you're in a store, it's no longer a sales atmosphere; it's an educational atmosphere. You're trying to learn. We're coming to a mutually beneficial agreement. That's what consultants do, and so education is the way to it. Because when you talk to a teacher, you listen to a teacher. Why? Because they're the teacher. And that's what we're trying to do, is constantly teach not just our staff, but so that they can pass it on to the customers.
Exactly.
So
Well, we're all passionate about it.
Yes.
So it's not just like I don't know, working at a grocery store, I guess, where you're just like checking things out and just like, oh, cool, like, oh, I didn't even know we had this, you know, like it's not anything like that. We all want to know, and we all use all of the products, but then you need to be able to know as well if somebody comes in and they, you know, like, I've been eating this, I've been working out like this, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, this isn't working anymore, then we can take a step back and be like, okay, try this product, or maybe eat more or eat less, but we need to be able to tell them that instead of just like starting to throw things at them that like I might use, because what I might use is not going to work for you or work for Cody or for Tim. So we need to understand that, not just what we like to use, but then that way we can understand everything else as well.
It's been one of those things with growing so fast, is that, you know, I just didn't want to lose. You read all these stories, you read about companies' histories and stuff, and you hear everything from Kentucky Fried Chicken to Burger King, and I've read them all. I legitimately have read them all. And the thing is, they just exploded. Well, we're exploding right now, and we're going to triple. I mean, I think we'll triple the size of this company in the next 5 years or less. And literally, with a lot of the competitors going out of business, that it also gives us. We're just in a very unique time, very lucky. But in an aspect, I don't want to lose what works now. We had a meeting this morning, like going from 4 or 5 corporate locations to 7 plus new franchise. Like all of a sudden, that was okay. We had to adjust our way of management. We had to adjust our way we're doing things, because we're at that size now where it's okay. It's a little too unmanageable with what we were doing before. So let's break it down and give some other people more responsibilities, and let's just get some other education and give other people a chance to rise up in the company. And that's a lot of people are doing. And a lot of my staff is here learning how to run their own business, because a lot of them, that's what they want to do too, and that's awesome.
That's part of the education.
It's fun with me, because I get to talk not just about nutrition but about business, which I'm a serial entrepreneur. I can't help myself.
Well, yeah,
So
that's who you are.
that's what I am, and so that's the beautiful thing. And these guys will say the same thing. Like, there's no commission. We have no average ticket. There's no quotas here. There's no upsells here. There's no required products to sell. If you go to, I'm going to say, if you go to GNC, you go to Complete, you go to any of these other companies, that is a requirement to sell X, Y, Z, to have this average ticket, this many no's before you can let them walk to the counter. None of that exists here, because that is the most annoying thing in nutrition, and that's what's changing the industry. High school kids are being told, sell that fat burner, you get an extra $5 on your check. That kid doesn't know anything about that fat burner. He has no right or any business selling that fat burner to a 48-year-old woman who might have heart issues, or who might be on an antidepressant. This one's got an herbal antidepressant. And what that does is make you super depressed. They have no clue. They have no business doing that job. And I don't want to take it seriously, because it could be my mom or my grandma or my aunt or somebody buying that product, or my dad. And I want to make sure that, or it's somebody's kid. Yep. So I have an 18-year-old. If somebody was trying to sell her something that could probably harm her body, I'm gonna lose my mind. So, but that's the thing. So I just tell them guys, like, do what you would do. I mean, this is your baby too. So
your incentive, comparatively to the other corporations, and I will use that terminology, corporations, because in corporation terminology, people have in their head, like you said, suit, tie, khaki pants. Your motivation for your employees, your family, is helping other people.
It is.
That's your motivation.
It is.
And actually genuinely caring for people. Like with my YouTube channel, I won't put anyone on my channel that, one, I don't personally know, and that I can't vouch for.
Sure.
And for me, I'm so glad that you that you informed me about the tests that your employees have to take, because somebody, for me, I mean, I'm in my 40s, we'll go there, and I'm still new, to all this fitness stuff. So when I go into a store, a company, I'm gonna be like, oh, here, buy this. I mean, I have medical issues.
Yeah.
If somebody gives me something, like, because of the way my body is, it metabolizes certain supplements and turns it into a false positive for methamphetamines.
Well, the thing is, it is. And the thing is, I have these conversations with all the staff. I'm like, if you don't know, don't make it up. Don't just do it to get the sale ever. Just call or be honest and say, you don't know. It's all about a customer of a lifetime here. That's what I'm trying to create that nobody else in my industry creates. It's repetitive business. And our repeat customer ratio is so astronomical. It's over 93% customer retention rate. Nobody else in my industry is even within half of that. No
Yeah.
ways. I've looked at all of the data. No matter how much they want to make it up, you can actually find out. It's not that hard. A little bit of research.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything is out there. Nothing is secret.
nothing's a secret. And that's the lifeblood of this business. Well, I've been doing it long enough now that it's successful. But yeah, did that cost me a lot of money in the beginning? Yeah, it cost me a lot of sales, a lot of commissions. Cost me a lot of money. And I took an 80% cut in pay when I started this company for a reason. It was a different mission. It was for a purpose. And I knew that I'll do what nobody else is willing to do now, so later I can live like no one else can. And I'm finally getting into that range where now I'm starting to see all these benefits. I've been laying the groundwork for 8 years. Guys coming back in who were here 8 years ago with their little brothers or their kids, along with their dad, and you got 3 generations shopping here at the same time. That's when you see it, and it's only going to continuously expand in that nature. So
That the phrase that you just utilized as far, Earl Nightingale used that, and having that particular mentality, especially for a company, is phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, it's I read it was Dave Ramsey, who's a financial guy. He
Yes.
used to say it all the time, and I love that. And he was doing
Yep.
it paying off debt, but I'm like, putting in your dividends now.
yeah,
So I mean, putting the work in now to receive dividends later, and it's
Yeah.
investment, right? You're investing into your customers, you're investing into your brand, into your image. Just understand you're not
investing
going
into them.
into them, and you're not going to. Sometimes you're not going to see all the benefits till later, but you got to be patient, impatiently patient. You got to be impatient enough to not be okay with the status quo, but be patient enough to let things work their course. So.
Yeah, kind of like me driving over here. Had somebody really, really slow, and I was like, "Get out of my way! I don't want to be late." And I was like, "Okay, thank you for showing me patience."
Yeah, and that's just it. It's about being patiently patient, especially in business, and like understanding that none of us are satisfied with where we're at, so we're impatient. We want to change the game. Patient enough to know that sometimes that's going to take a while, and that's going to take a lot of hard work.
Exactly.
And
Oh
so
my gosh.
it's the combination of the two.
Exactly. So, for you two, couple questions, and one, what was the most difficult question you received from a customer? And two, what advice do you have for not possible, but for future employees?
Why don't you go first?
I'm trying to think of what the most difficult question was.
The most difficult.
Or situation.
Okay, I guess the most. I mean, I've had quite a few, and honestly, a lot of it usually stems off the internet. So I heard this on the internet, and as soon as I hear that line come out of somebody's mouth, I'm like, "This is about to get fun." No, I had a customer. It was when I was running Maple. He came in. I mean, nice guy, everything, the whole nine. Just been fed a whole lot of bad info, and I'll never forget it. I was almost to my show, so I was obviously relatively lean and stuff like that. And he's like, "Wow, like you're building everything." He's like, I bet you eat no meat." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, yeah, no, this guy told me to get really lean. You got to like cut out all meat sources.
What?
I was like, no. And
No.
I literally like I couldn't like register like this poor guy, and like he bought it hook, line, and sinker, and that's usually just somebody that just doesn't know. And that's what, anytime you get like, if you say it would be dumb questions or whatever, like honestly, it's just lack of information. It's just lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And it is, when you're pertaining to like nutritions and things of that nature, like it's a murky pool, because like between people trying to sell you stuff that like it works, if you will, it's not true. It's just that they're selling you a bill of goods. It just isn't reality. And I'll even tell you, like, there's been many times like customers have come in here that will ask me things, and I'll literally tell them like, yeah, you don't take that. Honestly, you should just eat.
Yeah.
You're just not eating enough. Like I literally have talked customers out of purchasing items, because why? There's no point, because then they're gonna leave and be like, wow, I felt. There's nothing worse than being felt like you were sold.
Yes.
Because and then that's not what we want. That's what my employees, when they work here, like, if I find out that somebody feels pressured, like, we're gonna have problems, because I don't want people to feel pressured. That's the worst thing on earth. But yeah, no, that generally he and it was like continuous, like just bad information after bad information. He's like, yeah, you got to take this, and like it was all supplements. I was like, do you eat it all? He's like, I mean, I have like a meal a day, but otherwise usually about shakes and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh wow.
Okay, even I know.
And like it was almost to the point that I was about to like pull up a chair and be like, all right, buddy, sit down. Let me grab this notebook for you. Like it was like I said, that was probably the most where I was like, oh, this dude's been so wow. And it was an older gentleman too, so it was that was probably
I ran into that, a guy wanting to gain muscle mass, and I asked him how much protein he was taking. He goes, well, I was told to take like half of my body weight, gram-wise. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
No.
No. Well, that's, I think the,
oh my
It all varies whatever style of diet you're doing. I mean, all that plays a factor.
Yes.
And then I'll get people like, actually, somebody came in today and he was asking about the keto diet. And that was when and I know I don't know it as in depth as like Tim does. That's why I'm always picking his brain on it because, I mean, he loves the keto diet. The thought of doing the keto diet, no, I'm over it.
he likes.
I like carbs.
We like carbs.
I enjoy carbs
Right.
thoroughly. So, but no, like he was asking me questions and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, you know, I do the keto diet, but I'm not strict. I go, well, that alone right there tells me that you're not doing it properly. Like
Yeah.
that's a diet that there is no gray area.
No.
Eventually, you can get to that point where you can kind of play around with it a little bit. I was like, but you can't just stick your toe in the water of the keto
Really,
diet. Like
yep.
you have, I mean, because otherwise it just doesn't work.
You
That's
do
just
it.
not how it works. So I had to kind of explain to him like why this, you know, why this would happen, like why this would be a thing. So like I said, really, I've never had any like awful customers or anything of that nature. It was just, it's a lot of misinformation, and I get frustrated because it's just
It's ignorance.
people literally like they see it on one thing and they automatically just think that's the gospel, and like it's not. It's so wrong. And like I'll read like there's health documentaries that I've watched.
Ugh.
What the health
Yeah.
on Netflix.
I like that. What the hell?
I like What the Health on Netflix. I literally watched it, and about 15 minutes into it, I realized that I wasn't watching a documentary. I'm watching a comedy.
Yeah, I had to turn
I
it
was
off
like,
after
this
10
is
minutes.
that's just so
Really?
not right.
It's
Like,
It's bad.
and I'm not, you know, going against. It's basically about like the vegan diet and stuff like that. Like, by no means, like if that's your thing,
Right.
cool, whatever. Like, I have no problem with that. But some of the stuff they were saying in there, I was just like,
yeah.
Basically,
No.
what you're saying is you need to educate yourself.
educate
Yes.
yourself, and that's the
Period.
biggest thing. And honestly, I've sold like been here, like, and, you know, worked with like customers and stuff like that. That I've sold them things, stacks and stuff like that. You know, be it from our 8-week physique or our 4 weeks fit and stuff like that. And literally, as they leave, I'm like, and I'll, you know, explain to them about like their diet and things of that nature. I truly do this. I'll be like, if you have any questions, feel free to stop back in and just ask. So, and like, I would rather have that because I don't want you buying all this stuff, not doing something proper just because you're just misinformed. When I can still help you. It has nothing to do whether you purchase something in here. Like,
Oh, that's
and I'll rap with you all day and like,
Dude,
well,
that's
let's talk
awesome.
stuff. Like, you know, let's talk, and I'll try to explain to you because I want you to get the best out of what you purchase here. Like, there's supplements. They're meant to supplement your diet. They're not meant to be your diet. So they just play a part. That's all it is. And like, I want to give as much information as possible. I mean, there's a reason I went to school. There's a reason why I've been a personal trainer for so long. Like, it's a passion of mine.
right.
So I have no problem like sharing that kind of knowledge, and I'm continuously learning. I'm always picking his brain on vitamins and the keto diet. Nick, I'm always picking his brain. I mean, Nick's my prep coach. He knows that aspect a hell of a lot better than I do. So I'm constantly picking his brain about stuff. So
I think you'll find is like the more difficult the question you get from a customer, the more difficult situation, the more you can get out of it at the end. And because I've been around this in this this company for 8 years, and so I had a gal. He actually came in and asked for me not too long ago. Her son had major hormone issues, and she came in. She was just like, "Well, he needs this." I go, "Who told you that?" His doctor. All right, I'm going to say this. His doctor's an idiot. Now, listen, I have my background in organic and biopharmacology, so I understand this stuff better than most of them do, and it's not meant to be egotistical. It's a field that I study. So I went through it. I'm like, he was maybe 10, 11 years old at the time. So I balanced out some different hormonal things for him using natural herbs and a few other things, ingredients, and I said, okay, don't take your, and he was taking on testosterone injections, and I'm like, you're doing it incorrectly. I want you to do it once every 2 weeks. Break it down into twice a week and half the milligram dosages to balance out the hormone structures, keeps his prolactin down. Take this. And the kid dropped like 20, 30 pounds. Hormones completely levelized. And they came back in like a year later and told me, well, that's been like 5 years, 6 years ago.
Oh wow.
And so now his mom came in and wanted to know if the kid wants to do a job shadow with me, and he's just so impressed. This is what he wants to go and do because of what I did when he was 11 years old.
Wow.
Another customer 7 years ago came in from Elkhorn, had Crohn's really bad, so she couldn't lose weight, but she also couldn't digest food. Crohn's is a horrible disease if you got it bad. And so I said, well, listen, I'm going to take some off the wall stuff. And a lot of it wasn't from here. It was actually other things they could take. So I went through this with her. I'm like, try this out. It was 3 years later she came in. She lost 85 pounds off of that. Taking it, now she's consistently able to eat more. She's able to reduce the friction of the blood vessels in the stomach from the few suggestions I gave her. And the hardest questions become the most rewarding You just got to have the patience to see it through and realize sometimes it's not about me making money. It's about making sure but that lady may not have bought much from me because she didn't. But I bet she sent probably
Word of mouth.
60 or 70 people in here over the last 7 years. So it has netted me thousands of dollars just because of my ability, willingness just to give away knowledge for free, which is why we teach the classes for free. It's why we do that.
So they encourage individuals to come in not just to purchase, but for knowledge. And if somebody comes in, they're like, okay, help me. I've got this, this, and this. And then they're like, okay, this didn't work. Now what? You welcome that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's my original investors I started this company with. One, he's a cardiothoracic surgeon. And then my family, I've got 2 internal medicine surgeons. I got a plastic surgeon. I got 2 internal meds up in Mayo. If I legitimately don't know and I'm curious and I'm wondering if they might know, I have a lot of assets to reach from. I know a lot of doctors in town recommend their patients to here. So I keep a nice open dialogue with about 20 physicians in the Omaha area. And massage therapists, everyone else, to be like, okay, because I believe in a lot of avenues. Everybody's unique, so in that aspect, it's going to be a unique scenario with every single person. And I always told them the same thing. We'll add on this supplement for now and see if that works. If it doesn't, then we can add on something else. But there's no reason to throw 20 things at a dartboard and just trying to figure out which one sticks. You don't know which one's going to stick, so there's no reason to waste your money either. So I think we're taking that attitude about the customer first, profit second, is really paid off dividends 8 years later.
Wow. That, I mean, seriously, guys, you guys, as far as a company, are growing by leaps and bounds. As far as, I'm not even going to say a company this wise, you guys, as a family, you guys are growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, all in all, what, as a collective group, what do you want to see for the company?
Get him there. You do get him there.
We want to hear that sweet angelic voice.
I mean, eventually, to be in all 50 states, and to actually be able to like reach all of those places, as well as staying one cohesive like net group. I mean, other than that, I mean, we're all just gonna grow as like a family. I mean, we have like our core managers and that kind of stuff, but it's exciting for the company or just our family or whatever the situation is that like Cody's getting married, you know, or like Nick has Axel, right? And so like, oh, if they have another one, like that's all exciting for us. Or watching all the Tim and Brittany's kids, like them grow up and do all stuff, like we're all going to be at Lexi's graduation party and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what we want to do. But I want to be able to have that with all of our franchisees as well, you know, so we can call the guys in Kearney. They're not a franchise anymore, but they were. And so now we all have this like family mentality with them as well. Or out in Denver, like we talk to him on a consistent basis all the time.
I flew out there a month ago.
Right.
Just hung out with him for the weekend.
You've gone out there. You and Brittany have gone out there.
We travel, so I've been out there at least 6-7 times just because I'm like, just letting him know, like, hey, it's Denver, it's one plane trip, it ain't that long, and you know, hey, I'm an hour away, it's an hour plane ride, so it's like, we are here. Like, that way you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
You know, you're never alone. So Dallas is a one trip, that's an hour and a half on a plane, and it isn't that expensive.
Right.
So, you know, as the rule is, I've spent more money on dumber stuff. So, but you know, that's just that constant support. You know, I'm not doing it to meet regulations. I mean, I do quadruple what I'm required to by the by the feds within my federal disclosure document for support. I do 4 times. That's my goal. Wow. Is to do 400% more than I'm required to do. And so far, for the last 7 years, I have.
Wow.
And so if I'm supposed to see a franchisee, you know, once every 12 months, I try to go at least 4 times in that year, so once a quarter. And so I do. I send somebody. Somebody's always going to help do something at some avenue. And the beautiful thing is, you know, you can look at technology in a negative light in some ways, but in a positive light, it allows us to, when we go to 50 states, and that is my goal, is to go national, and we're on our way there, is that technology now allows us to keep that knit group, allows us to Skype and do video conference calls and be on group messages and do these things and do video call outs where I can call somebody out on Facebook all the way in Colorado who's calling out Dallas, who's calling out Mankato, and all of a sudden it becomes this fun thing. And when we did that day, there's actually nothing about nutrition. It was just them talking smack on social media and having a good time. And it was a record-breaking sales day because they were having a good time. So
And because I'm the golden child.
yeah, and they're all talking about who the golden child was, and
She's
Alexis
the golden
Williams
child.
won.
I have a title belt that proves
You have a
that
title
was.
belt. He got a title belt at my house. We had the week after that. I had everybody over to the house. We cooked for everybody.
It's like my baby.
Yeah.
We cooked for everybody. Shane got him a title belt. And this is, I had 40 or 50 employees. There 40 employees. They
I
were
remember you
girlfriends.
telling me that.
And he had a title belt, and he had to like do the whole pose. And you know, Alexis had the funniest video. She got the whole feather
She got a
boa or
tiara and
whatever.
everything. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
and then it's you know that's the point. If we ever get to a point where we're not having the family mentality, I stop growing the company.
Mm-hmm.
It really is it, and
Yeah.
it's you know, I had in another YouTube video interview I had to do a couple weeks ago, and I told them the same thing. It's like, what about your faith? If this would ever affect your faith, I said, this day this ever affects my faith, it affects my values for a company, is the day I find a new job. So,
I love that.
and it's because it's not
I love
all
that.
about money. It's not, you know, it's. I got 5 kids. For me to ever be considered wealthy, I gotta have like 50 more.
I'm gonna say,
Okay, because I have 3 blonde daughters. Okay, expensive.
He's
So
in trouble.
I'm
Just
in
saying.
deep trouble.
He's in
And so you know, it's never been about the money. It's never been about that. It's about waking up and the fact that I don't have to work.
Right.
I go to my career.
Yeah.
It's not a job. I have to go clock in and clock out. It's a job that it's something I want to do. I live and breathe this. I look for a reason to go do this. And thing is, I'm so lucky because I got a wife that's totally into this too, that wants to go. And then my kids sometimes want to go. They have to. But they have to wear Rexius t-shirts. And they get to work at the booze. They worked at the Health Expo. They'll be working the show this Saturday in the morning and at night. It's just part of what being part of the
Being a
family is.
family.
And you know, the other employees bringing their kids and bringing their fiancés and their husbands, whatever, wives' husbands. It's what it is. It's a family. It's so.
Well, I'll close up here, but okay. What I really want to close up on is not him, but you guys. Tell us your honest opinion about the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Rexus.
I really wish you'd stop calling him that.
I'll never hear the end of it.
No, he's not gonna be able to walk through the door. His head's gonna get so
Oh,
big.
here we go.
No.
That's it.
No. I mean, he knows, and I'm sure I've told him, and I get kind of sappy with him sometimes.
She
But
does.
I mean, he's my big brother, and you know, there's been a lot of times that he's actually been more of a father figure when I needed it. I mean, I've gone through some things, you know, and he's been the one that, like, you can call when, like, you can't even really talk, and, you know, and he's there. So it's not, like I said, it's not like going to work, it's not whatever, it's just, I get to hang out with my best friend all the time. And that was such the biggest thing, is, like, him and I started back in this corner, and we shared a desk, and I actually got my own desk because you don't need to be at my desk. I know, but I really want to. Like, I want to just hang out. I didn't ever go over to my own desk because I wanted to be just like right next to him all the time. And I mean, there were plenty of times where we had doors up here before, and we would like shut the door, and it would just be like us, just like hashing it back and forth. And I don't know that you can find that anywhere else. I mean, I don't really want to find it anywhere else. Like, I get kind of emotional about it anyway, but. You know, he's my big brother. He's one of my best friends. He'll have to fight probably Nick and Cody to, like, walk me down the aisle, like maybe my dad too, but, like, you know, whatever happens.
I'm scrappy, I got it.
Right, or he can just officiate. I mean, actually, that would be, like, the longest wedding on the planet, but, like, you know.
You wouldn't even be like talking about like wedding aspect either.
Uh-huh.
Like you'd be like, I'm getting married here. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's my day.
That's right.
It's my
You look at
day.
him and you say, Cliff Notes, bullet
That's me walking
points.
up with the mic.
He's passing back
How
and
we
forth
doing
up there,
today?
yeah.
So,
He'd start rapping Eazy-E, you know, like.
oh yes.
But yeah,
Rolling down the street in my 6 foot.
yes, seriously. But you know, like, yeah. But I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, like he's done so much for all of us.
Yeah.
And he's kept us so tight knit that it's just one big
Family.
mess of his children, his adult children, really. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. I'd say, obviously he's in my wedding, so he's one of my groomsmen. It's like a best friend. Like, I can truly say, and I've told him and Shane that for that matter, like, when it comes to this company, I literally have 2 bosses. That's him and Shane. I've never once felt like I've had a boss. I have I mean, I don't know if coworker would be the word, but like, I mean, I have people that I can just go to. I mean, technically they're my boss, but they don't ever make me feel that way. He doesn't micromanage.
I call them coworkers when
Yeah,
I talk
we're
about
just-
it in public. That's, I don't,
Yeah,
We're just,
yeah.
friends, coworkers, but I don't ever like, well, who's in charge? Really?
I mean, we
Probably
Right.
my wife, honestly. Not really me, so.
like we know he's the
Good
boss and
answer.
everything, but it literally it's like running a company with a friend. Like we feel like a part of this, and you know, he's working his way to try to eventually maybe one day that some of us can buy in or whatever avenue happens. Like we're just so invested into like something that it's an idea that like we're all literally like we're a part of it. So we always feel a part of some things of that nature. You never feel excluded. You never feel, and it's like
Your baby.
I work again. It is. It truly is. Like I'm continuously like, all right, how can we do this? Like save money. How can we do? Like I'm always like trying to figure out ways to like try to save money. That does not affect my paycheck at all. Like
Right.
it doesn't. But I want the company to be better. I want him to be more successful. I want this thing to grow. I want it like that's. And like, there's been many times where he's like,
Wow.
"We're good.
Right.
Like you don't need to." I'm like, "Yeah, but we could like
Right,
So
we can
it's
do this.
and it's constantly like that. Like
Well,
I
I told
literally,
him not to work and open and close. I'm like, go take the night off, take your fiance out. He goes, we're on budget, and we need. I go, sure, I know that better than you. But he goes,
it's.
I want to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's and like the shows, for instance, like working a show is pretty much for the most part like I'm, like running point on the one this weekend. Like that's an open to close aspect. Like I'm going to be gone all day. And thank God I have a very supportive fiance. Like she understands what this means to me. And
that's
I literally have been like, this is busy season. You know how this is. Like what this is. And she gets it. She understands stuff like that. Is she always super happy about it? No, but I mean that's anybody's significant other. But she gets it. She understands what this means to me. What this is. I mean, we've even had times before where she's like, I'll be like talking about like the day at work or whatever. Like I had to talk to this manager and like do this and like handle things like this. And like she literally stopped and like looked at me. She's like, "You love your job." I'm like, "I do." Like it's become. I don't know how somehow like I thought my life was going this way, and then somehow like one night a week turned into like this is my career path. And
This
this is
is
like
your
my life.
passion.
Like these are my best friends. These are like it literally is like that. Like I mean, any job, like some days you're like, I kind of like to stay in bed, but like I don't dread working. I don't ever like working and open and close. I'm like, dude, I got this. And he'll pull that crap too. No, man, I don't want you to.
It's okay.
Yeah, but like it's my store.
Like I'll
Right.
come in and work. I'll work a shift.
Yeah,
you don't need to work.
Yeah,
Right.
like
And then last week I'm like, I'll come work the second half. What time did you go to work? What time did you start working this morning?
Right.
4:45.
Yeah, so you're gonna go home.
You're gonna go home and you're gonna rest.
Right, and we'll work. We got it.
So it's
And they do that. They look out. I think everybody looks out for each other.
And see, I mean, I'm not even a part of the company, if you will. But I mean, I've told you and I've told Nick, if you guys are ever short, don't have to pay me. Tell me.
And she
hey.
legitimately has. I mean, honestly, we first opened the gym. She's like, if you need any help, I'm like, get her number down, because I didn't know what I was doing. But that's why I like you so much. But that's it.
But that's what for me. That's
Friends do.
what friends are
Exactly.
for. That's what friends do. And for you guys to just from the customer perspective, you guys saying come back. I don't want you here just to buy stuff. I want to help you. I want to teach you. Your guys' passion. I mean, just sitting here seeing this on your face. I mean, it's just like it's amazing. I mean, I'm a sap. I cry. I mean, when you were talking, I'm like, okay, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. But yeah, I mean, and I'm the love that you guys have for Tim and vice versa. It speaks volumes as far as a company is concerned, and what you can produce and give back to the community. So I mean, on that note, I thank you. Thank you for what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I'll go ahead and end this episode, but I still want to follow up with you guys.
Sure.
See how you guys are doing and going on from there, and go to some of the shows. I need you to give me the information for the shows.
I'll get that.
And I'll follow up with you guys there.
Okay.
I'll do some stuff. And if you guys have any questions, nutrition-wise, anything like that for these guys, you guys heard it straight from the mouths. No, I'm not going to say horses' mouths. But ask your questions. I will go ahead and put everything down below. As far as the shows are concerned, Again, questions, ask. If you have any, even advice for Tim, as far as, from a customer's point of view, put it in there. Feel free. Just thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for taking the time
Of course.
to talk about it, and I do appreciate it. Again, you guys take care of yourselves. Peace. Mwah.
See.